they finished the candle up yet?
Hmm?
Have they finished what you just brought?
They probably have. 'Cause there's a
So let
lot
me
of
get
them
this.
out there.
Let me get this done. Once this is busted up, all I have to do is sit here and warm.
Attitude and joy.
Alright, there we go. Do what I'm trying to do.
And you can do, I guess you can do a Google search and say,
How
was it
time to
European?
divide them up there? White people do that.
Yeah.
Listen, you gotta understand when I say white people, I don't mean the skin color, I'm talking about the European. If you try to subdivide the European, that's where you get lost. The culture is European. It's a European culture.
Yes.
It's an anti-nature culture. The culture was built on fighting nature to survive.
Yeah. They say these were the guys who actually came
You're not
swinging the
listening.
sword
You're
like
asking
that.
a question, and then they're going to try to answer
Oh,
the
okay,
question.
okay.
That's why
Sorry.
your questions don't get answered. I ain't going to kick your ass, though.
You gonna be gentle with him, Doc?
Yeah. Nah, don't get caught up in that, because nobody would even know the answer to that question. Nobody knows who was the most vicious or who was the first vicious.
Yeah, this is hearsay. Opinion.
Knowing that the culture, people behaving based on their value system.
Right.
And it's out of their value system, they say they got a culture. And the value system of Europe is fighting nature.
Yes.
Because they felt nature fought them. If your ass is frozen in a cave, and for most of the year it's ice, and you can't fish because the ice is too thick. You can't hunt food most of the year, so who do you eat?
The
The other
people.
person.
Yeah,
That's exactly what
the
they do.
women primarily. All the old women and men got eat, and they eat the young women just save enough to procreate with. That's why they culture the way it is.
Same thing carried over to Jamestown.
The
And all
same
the
thing
other
carried
everywhere.
over throughout the Caribbean, Central South America. They did the same thing. That's the culture. See, that's the value
Way of
system.
life.
That's the belief. That's why they didn't care what they did to us. Hanging us, lynching us, raping us, castrating us. That was nothing.
They did that to themselves.
Yeah. There's who
It's
wrote
probably
the book?
comfort in doing it to somebody else after having to do it to
It's just
yourself.
their reaction. That's how they react.
Yeah.
That's their instinct. You know, a rabbit have a different set of instinct from a lion. A lion is a cat, but he got a different sense of instinct than the leopard. So the European, he's human, but he came up under a condition. He got a different set of instinct. You know, we come from the sun. People of the sun, we got one type of instinct. We got tolerance. Because there's plenty of food. I ain't got to fight you with enough food. You go pick some berries over there. I pick some berries over here. You go pull some roots over there. I can get some fruit over here. We ain't arguing. He had one fruit treat that maybe bore once a year for 2 months. Everybody killed to get to that one treat. We didn't have to do that. You feel like some fish today, something, leave them brother with them berries alone. You go to the river and catch yourself some fish.
All year round.
All year round, but he couldn't do that. So he was at war with nature. Imagine, the ice is too thick because the glacial period means the ice is almost a mile thick. You can't run no line down there and catch no fish. How you gonna get vitamin D?
Absolutely.
You ain't getting no sunlight because the clouds are crystallized. So you get minimal sunlight. You have to get rid of melanin to absorb as much vitamin D as possible from the little bit of light you're getting. Oh, wow. Understand? And so you're stuck. You don't have enough food. You feel little deer and stuff that you can catch during the year and rabbits when the season thawed a little bit. But remember, we're not talking about a snowstorm. You're talking about a glacial age that's lasting 100,000 years. And the ice ain't melted. So you had to live in cave. And hunt whatever little food you could. When you couldn't hunt anymore and the winter came, grandpa and grandma became dinner. And they found these caves. And they found the bones, the human bones had human teeth marks. What does that tell you? That somebody was eating the human being, that the human teeth marks is on the human bones.
Are they the same? Are they the same people that are? Are they the same people that are? I forgot the name. Some people are responsible for the
There's no specific group of people. Stop looking for that.
Europeans, basically.
These are the people, these were the Africans trapped in the ice. People around said they ain't from the same race, they ain't but one race. See, if we get confused in their way of thinking, you ain't never gonna solve your problem. They're you. That's why we can't get rid of them, because we don't understand that everything negative in that white man is capable of being negative in you, because he is a black man that went through that transformation. And all of that demonism in him, we display it in our communities every day. We pretend we don't. Who do you think is killing all our people, raping all our people, selling the dope to our people? Those aren't white people. You can't say, well, I got the dope from the white man. That don't clear your ass. Okay, let's get
not
real.
absolve you, absolutely.
Let's be honest and real. That's you on your worst day. Now, is that what you want to be? Then you go to black and try to find out what is you on your best day. And then that's what you want to be. Because that's you on your worst day. The only reason he got power now is because we have become him. All the white people could die, ain't nothing gonna change in this world. You're a white man.
Or especially in this country. Absolutely, yes. I talk about that, Doc. Quite a bit.
Because it has to do with language too, do you think? Or if you,
Yeah, but it has to do with your mind's understanding of nature, cosmology, and ecology, and your role in it. How many black people we argue about the Abrahamic? I don't give a shit about the Abrahamic religion. I don't even argue about them no more. Have a discussion on them anymore. That in none of them have we found any answers to our problem. All the churches we go to, and all the millions of churches, all the hundreds of
Billions
thousands
of dollars.
of synagogues and temple, all of the millions of mosques, has anything changed? Has anything changed? I mean, things have changed, but not to free us any more free. We're no more free now than we were when Malcolm X first started talking. We're no more free now than Booker T. Washington first started talking. We're no more free now than when Harry Tubman tried to lead us ass up the plantation. Matter of fact, we might have been freer then than now. You know?
get understanding then.
I had a brother who saying he was from the Maroon community in Jamaica. I used to be up in that community. I danced Naya Bingy at every church in the hill. Every morning. I sat at the table at Mr. Henry's palace to help bring peace when there was a war. I had a lot of experience. I mean, you know. And so, the freest Jamaican are them brothers up in the hills. The other folks down in the valley and in the towns and on the shore, they're still slaves.
The Jibaros. Yes.
And it's because we won't let go of the white man. We keep trying to make it fit. It doesn't fit us. It only destroys us.
Yeah. I always talk about trying to look for the answers to our problems from the same people who created it.
Never get
That's our biggest flaw.
It's like I say you can't repurpose a gun.
Bring y'all some
You can't repurpose a
Yeah.
gun. How do you do that?
So, going back to our traditional.
So the first part of what we're doing is called the hydration station.
Okay.
Put
But
in,
we don't need any light. Matter of fact, darkness is much better. Especially with mosquitoes, they don't like mess with you too much.
Right, that's it.
But yeah, young Baba, it's like
Give thanks.
what you've gotta understand is that they keep us arguing about
Dragon
them all
fruit.
day. We keep us arguing about them all day. We never get to argue about us. What about us that needs fixing?
That's a good point.
That means, you know, how do we go back to the, you know, culture that, what is it that, you know, spiritual system, what is it that, you know, culture value? How do we go back to the Congolese culture value? How do we go back to the Yoruba culture value? That's what our arguments need to be about.
Now, Doc, would you say that would be more of a conscious than an actual more of a conscious.
But child's gonna grab a cup of this fruit.
He got one now.
That has to be the center of your consciousness. If you're gonna be free. That Asa Hilliard said, true freedom is to be shackled to your identity.
Mm.
If you're not shackled to your identity, if you don't know your true identity, and then shackle yourself to that identity, you're not free. You think Oprah Winfrey is free? She's still running around trying to get into a size 6 dress with her size 12 behind. That's not freedom.
Who's that, Oprah, Doc?
I like Sister Winfrey. She means well,
Okay.
but she ain't free. If having money made you free, Spike Lee would be somebody different from who he is. Boy, P. Diddy had plenty of money, millions of dollars. Wouldn't free if you gotta go rape your sister just to enjoy sex. When you can have all the pussy you want without touching anybody, without even asking for it.
Mm.
Yeah, he didn't even have to ask for it.
So we have to study us. Who was our grandmother? Who was her grandmother? That's what I want to know. I want to get back to being who I was before we met the white
Yeah,
man.
where did they live at? What did they do for a living? Because you talked about the midwifing, right?
Mhm.
And I introduced you to that young woman. She is a midwife. Her mother was a midwife, and her grandmother. So it's that tradition, that trajectory. Another thing, Doc, that I wanted to mention to you, man, is that I feel that a big piece of what's missing for us in this country is una aldea, a village, where we can congregate and shop and have entertainment and all kinds of things, you know. But for us, we don't have that kind of thing. And when I was in Africa, I noticed that the villages were like the hub. And I was in Abidjan, and all the folks there, on the weekend they leave Abidjan and go back to the village, man.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. The city's like empty. It's tourists there. Most of the people literally go to every single weekend. They go back to their village, man. And we don't have that. We don't have a place that we can go back to, especially black people. They don't have
That's
a
what I was
place.
talking about today. You have to build that.
Yes,
Have no
and that's what I'm
ownership.
trying to do, Doc. That's exactly
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
why
trying to
I
do.
brought
Yes,
it back to the center.
yes.
You have to build. You don't take control of economic politics and culture where you live. And you can't do that by saying, I'm not going to get involved in the politics. Well, if you don't get involved, somebody else will. So that means your enemy is running the politics that governs your life. If you're not running it, they're running it.
Right. That's
When you were
powerful.
saying that earlier, I had a conversation. I posted on my Facebook. I posted about we need a black agenda. It don't matter if it's Kamala or Trump. I don't call him Trump. I call him Trump. That's in the position. We need our own agenda that we could take to these and say we got these, whatever it is, 10 points out of this for our vote. What are you going to give us? And then one brother in the comments was like, he don't want to engage. And I said, brother, don't you pay taxes? Anytime you buy stuff, you pay taxes. When you buy your clothes, you pay taxes. If you buy some shoes, you pay taxes. If you buy
How you
something for
gonna
your
live in a
car, you buy a
country and
car.
you're not involved in it? That was the worst mistake. We allowed the white Marxist left to lead us down that path. That was not the path of Malcolm X. It was not the path of Booker Washington. It was not the path of Du Bois. It was not the path of Garvey. Okay? They all understood if you live here, you better control where you live. If you don't control it, your enemy will. And if your enemy control it, you ain't in control of it where you live. It's simple
That's a
and it's
fact.
complex.
You said in one of your lectures, yeah, if you have your own business in your community, now you have a say-so because you have kind of like an economic say-so in your community.
Not kind of like an economics.
It
You
is.
control the economics where you live. I don't care what they control where they live. I want to control the economy where I live.
Makes sense.
I want to make sure if Bubba came in a town from Mississippi looking for housing, we can say, go see Bubba over there, and we know he would be guided to housing that he could afford for him and his family. We can't do that now. We have to let him go to the white man and beg.
And then accept whatever they give him, whether he like it or not.
And I think one of the most important areas that we should actually get into, like the building departments, you got the inspectors. And all
We need
these-
to get into
every
everything that,
aspect of it, yeah.
that runs the government that affects our lives.
Mm.
And we need to try to get. Why do you think they're going after Eric Adams? Eric is shit. I don't even like Eric. But New York City got a black mayor, black school chancellor,
Black police.
had a black head of the police department,
Yeah.
a black
School
district
system,
attorney.
Former black in the school system.
Mm-hmm.
The former superintendent was black.
Mm-hmm. Most of the bar presidents are black or Latino.
Most of
The
the
head of-
presidents?
The borough.
The
Bar
borough.
presidents. the head of the New York State Senate is a black woman. The head of the New York City Assembly is a black man. Do you understand what they piss off about?
Mm-hmm.
Now, our problem is we pulled the coup based on the struggles of the people and don't realize we've pulled the coup.
Mm.
And that's why they can isolate Eric and go after him and some other niggas in the background, yap, telling them where to go. They only know who to run to his house and take their phone because somebody's telling them something. Somebody somewhere is snitching.
On the inside.
Trojan horse.
So,
You get one? Thank you, bro. Yeah, the Adams thing was I was very surprised. Like I saw them indicting the former police chief, indicting a lot of other former underlings, but I didn't think it was leading to him. That surprised me.
you always want to get to the top.
Yeah.
All that others was to scare him, confuse him. What they want is for him to step down as the mayor so they can make New York white again. They're not going to say that. That's what this is about.
That's the
Do
agenda.
you see how black New York is
Yeah.
in terms of who's running everything? Now, most of them may be unconscious. But what happened when the next generation, a little bit of conscious, take their place?
Are they upset about the money that he spent too? Do you think they?
You're not listening. Again, you're going back to little petty little. Stop trying to look at the one man on the board. Look at every player on that board,
Mm-hmm.
and then see the whole board.
Same thing they did to the Republican Party back in what's the 17?
Republican Party ain't never been nothing significant. It's just, all of it was white boys, and they were all white folks. What has happened is that we have taken control of the power apparatus of government in New York City
Right.
and key positions in Albany, New York. Let me say it to you again. You don't live in New York City. When I say, okay. The New York State Senate is headed by a black woman.
Thank you.
The New York State Assembly is headed by a black man.
High position.
The New York State Attorney General is a black woman. The New York City District Attorney is a black woman and a black man. The New York City borough presidents in 2 or 3 of the 5 boroughs are blacks and Latinos. The New York City mayor, the biggest, most wealthy city in the world, is a black mayor. The New York City council is headed, I think, by a black woman. That ain't never happened in any city in the country in the history of America.
They got all the top spots, all of them, from top to
All of
bottom.
All of them. That's
So the
why they're
fear-
going after
so
him.
their
'cause
fear is
he's
real.
The,
And
he's the
they
top.
don't know what to do with it.
He's the top. If we can hit the top, we can get the rest.
If they take the mayor out, they can take everybody else
So
out.
that's what that's about. It's like, how dare you? Now they got the power because the grassroots have struggled all these years for these opportunities and these rights and these chances and education and all the things. But many of them who've got the degrees and stuff don't have the consciousness to go with the degrees. See? They don't have the consciousness. They don't have the historical knowledge. Now some of them heart are good. They're trying to take care of their people best they can. But what if they were conscious? But the next generation got more conscious. Now let the next generation take their spots. Crackers will never be in charge of the city ever again.
That's why we gotta get out.
And they're trying to knock it out right now.
Yeah, if
By
they put a
going
white
after
mayor in
him,
there,
then you're going to intimidate the next young black
Yeah.
man that want to run for mayor.
it could be a domino effect. If they take down the mayor easy.
Right, and that's what they're trying to do. So they went after the chancellor, they went after First, when we saw the black woman with the police commissioner step down, I knew something was coming down.
That was quick too, Doc.
Yeah.
That happened quick. She wasn't in there that long.
Right.
Excuse me. Restrooms downstairs if anybody needs it, or if you want to use the bush, you can use the bush.
Thank you, bro.
All of these old fruit right here. Everybody done with this?
Yes.
Yeah. So I threw this in the back of that tree right there for our road warriors that protect us when we don't know, when we not looking.
Feed them.
Yeah.
Give tongues.
But basically feeding the wolves.
There you
So
go.
the wolves come all through here too. The wolves, all types of animals.
Feeding ground.
Hey, Doc, I noticed that Kamala Harris has been the only American politician that has said that Israel has the right to protect itself, right? Like everybody else. But she's the only one that added to that. She said we have to look at what's going on. She just didn't say that. She didn't give them that blank check that everybody else did.
Right.
And I think a lot of that has to do because she's a black woman. They can't bully her, you know?
And Harris didn't just get into politics when she went to Washington.
She's not a rookie, in other words.
She grew up in the black community of Oakland in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
She grew up in a black Baptist church, you know. Her grandfather was from Jamaica. I mean, her father's from Jamaica. Her father was one of the most brilliant mathematicians at Stanford University. It was no joke.
Wow.
This guy wrote an economic blueprint for Michael Manley. If Michael never got ready to implement it, Jamaica would be free today.
Mm.
But he was a Marxist. That's why he lays it cool. You understand? He don't want them to put that on his white kids' back. Trump tried to do it anyway. I think about 2 weeks ago, said that her daddy was a socialist. You know, he was a socialist. Well, at least in terms of his ideology, but he still lived in America and Jamaica, so he would live under socialism.
Call them a straight Marxist.
You know.
Say socialist.
Mhm. And her mother, first organization she belonged to was the Afro-American Association, started by Queen Mother Moore.
Mm. So they've been rooted in the struggle from the beginning, Doc.
Mm-hmm. And Maulana Karanga used to belong to that same organization before he set up us with her mother. And the leader of that organization was Brother Al Mansour, who people knew in the early days of Donald Warden. His older brother was James Warden, Malcolm X secretary.
Mm.
So they don't even know who this woman is. I'm sure Trump and his people know, but they haven't found anything negative to say about her, because anything they found still that she's lived in the black community, was a part of the black community. As far as she knew, she was a black woman. So if they go back and pull up a past, all they're gonna find is a black woman living in the black community.
Yeah.
Nice.
HBCU, right? AKA sororities.
Give thanks, ancestors.
Come up here. See what game of chess is like, man.
Give thanks. Safe travels.